let's see. Okay, let's say this is my stamp design right here, this VBHS. What I did is I first drew it with a pen, and then I went over it with the marker, the Crayola type marker, water-soluble marker. The other thing that will work is a gel pen. It has to be a gel pen. So you'll have to make sure that it says gel on it like that if you're gonna do. But the marker honestly works a lot better to me. So you're gonna take a small piece of clay, and it really doesn't matter what shape it is as long as it's not thicker than your thumb. So an easy way to do it would be just kind of roll it and like tap it on each end or one end, and you could kind of like smooth this out. But this could be your stamp end, right? So here are some of the stamps I made in the past. This one, just like the end of it is just carved out to be like where my thumb is. This one's got my name on it. I like to do them double-sided too sometimes. That way you have, there's my KH. Okay. So if you already have this with a handle on it, we might as well make something else on the back. But I'm only going to require you to make one stamp, okay? So, again, you could roll it out and make a cylinder like that. Or you could make a rectangular shape. Just depends on what you need. Could be a cone, a pyramid. It doesn't really matter. As long as it's not too much thicker than your thumb, okay? So then what I want to do is, if this is a little bit hard, honestly, the harder the clay for this, the better. The closer to leather hard it is, then you'll be able to carve it today. If you get really, really soft, fresh clay to make your stamp, it's going to be really easy to get this marker on there because it's wet, but it is not going to be easy to carve, okay? So mine is kind of in the middle. It's a little bit hard. So I'm going to put a tiny bit of water on here because this clay is pretty dry. And then press this in. I have little scraps of paper up here if you want to draw your design on these little scraps of paper. If you want to just press it straight into your sketchbook, that's fine too. That's what I did last year. You can see the little bits of clay on there. Okay, so if you do letters, it's going to be backwards on the stamp, but you know it's going to be correct on the clay because it was correct on here, right? Does that make sense? So now you have a decision to make. Are you going to carve around like this, like carving around the letters so that they stick up? Or, let me find my other one. Are you going to carve into the letters so that when you press it in, the letters are going to stick up in the clay? So, which one do you think is going to work better? The one where the clay has to be pushed into the cracks, or the one where the clay pushes, or the stamp pushes into the clay? Left or right? Left. Correct. Which one do you think is harder to carve out? It's kind of, I mean, to me, it's harder to carve this one out, but it's worth it because it works a lot better. Because if the clay that I press this into is not soft enough, I mean, that worked pretty good. You'll see that. But this one works a lot easier. The clay doesn't have to be super soft when I press it in. I'm wrecking it right now. Let me smooth this out. There you go. But you don't have to do your name or your initials. You can do any kind of little design. One of my favorite ones that I've ever made is just, so I have this heart that I put on here, and I don't even use this very much, but for some reason I carved out this tiny heart on the other end, and I use that all the time because it's just really cute and tiny. So it does not have to be complicated, y'all. It can be a very simple design or shape, okay? This is what I was working on this morning, this little cat. these little checkered design. This little owl. I'm still working on this one. It wasn't dry enough. But what you're going to do is take one of your tools and start carving either into the ink, the marker, or you're going to carve around. Is everybody watching this part? This is what I was talking about. If your clay is too wet, this part is going to be very difficult. So you might want to blow dry it, or if you have something to glaze, you could get your stamp started and then set it aside while you glaze. Keep in mind that this is a very small piece of clay, and if you leave this out in the open air, it's going to probably get too dry. So after you make your stamp, if the clay is too wet, you're going to need to let it partially dry overnight. But anyway, it's going to be hard for me to get in there. But again, I'm going around. Can y'all see that? How I'm trying to go around the ink? Yes? I could also use a needle tool to kind of help me get in between by like pressing it. Okay, so one more thing, and then I'll let you guys try this. On the ones that stick up, all of this extra stuff out here is not going to show. Like on this one, whenever I press this in, unless I press it way too deep, that outside shape doesn't really show up. That's why I made it carved so tightly around the design. So a bunch of this extra stuff, I could probably just cut off, honestly. Like, so I can cut as much of this extra off. Or I can like smooth it down like this. But yeah, so I'm either going to continue to try to carve this, or I'm going to let it dry, blow dry it, and then carve it some more. Tomorrow, hopefully when they're leather hard, you can test it in some soft clay before you turn it in to be fired. That way you can fix it if it's not, if something's wrong with it. You can fix it before I fire it for you.